If you always wanted to make these old world antique papers, but thought it was going to take a lot of time and a lot of supplies, I'm going to show you how to batch make these in about an hour using supplies you already have around your house, some of which might even be in the garbage. Nothing complicated for this one. I have some coffee. This is leftover from this morning, and if you're not a coffee drinker, you can certainly either pick some up or bum it off of someone that does drink coffee. There's plenty of us out there. Some coffee grinds, again, left over from this morning. I just grabbed the whole filter and put it in this bowl. I'm using coffee paper, just plain white coffee paper. I like it because it's thin. It holds up to the liquid pretty well, but it's also thin. So when I use it for collage, it doesn't make an edge in whatever I'm doing. You can't really, the edge sort of blends in using the medium. And of course, a mop brush. This is just, it's a royal mop brush, and I can't even, oh, 3/4 of an inch, but you can use a chip brush. You could probably spread it out with your fingers, pour it on with a spoon and spread it out with your fingers. No big deal, but I do like to use this brush. It picks up a lot of liquid. So I have my paper laid out on some cardboard on the floor of my studio, aka the floor of my basement, and I'm just going to start mopping the coffee onto the paper, not really worrying about any pattern, just trying to get the coffee all over. You can do this on a sheet of plastic on the floor. You can get a shower curtain from the dollar store. That works really, really well as well. Some people use a baking tray. The thing I like about working on the floor, especially on this floor, is I really don't worry about making a mess. It doesn't make that much actually of a mess. You don't really have to worry about it dripping all over. If you have some paper towels on hand, it's always a good idea. But generally, you know, as long as it's on a flat surface, so it doesn't fold over on itself, or you don't get, you know, wrinkles with deep drips in them. As it is, the paper is going to buckle a little bit. That's not really an issue. This cardboard is quite big because I'm doing a dozen of them. But if you have something smaller, I did do them on smaller cardboards or smaller batches on a smaller piece of cardboard because I could move it out of the way once I was done and continue doing other things. I'll try to give you a few close-ups, and at the same time, I'm trying to make sure my lighting is good. This is sort of like brown coffee on a brown piece of cardboard on a grayish brown floor. It doesn't matter either if they're touching each other or not. Just wanted to thank all of you who suggested this technique in the comments on another video I did making vintage letters for collage and other projects. I'll link that up here in the corner. So note to self, a cup of coffee, 8 fluid ounces is absolutely more than enough. And I'm just going to continue filling in a little bit on the white spots. I think I'm going to keep these ones and use them for a giveaway. But I'll put that either up on screen or in the description. Forgot to mention also a spatula, but you can use a spoon as well. You could probably even use a knife. And I just put a bit of the coffee grinds, usually in a line. It reminds me of like if the paper was folded up in a trunk somewhere and it got water damaged or something. Sometimes I'll just do like a certain spot in one place. You can also sprinkle them all over. I just like the effect that we get from the coffee grinds being like sort of in this pattern. But there's also a lot of randomness here too. So that's part of the beauty. That's what makes each one unique. They'll just sort of randomly bleed. We're going to add a bit more coffee after, and they'll randomly bleed onto the paper and just, you know, give you their own beautiful, unique pattern. You could probably even throw the coffee grinds randomly at your paper if you want to go that route, and then just, you know, spread it around or push it down wherever it lands. And by the way, this whole project takes about an hour from start to finish. That doesn't include drying time, obviously. I left them to dry overnight in my studio, but of actually doing these steps you see here and then the dusting off of the papers at the end, it's about an hour for 12 sheets of paper. Just going back in and adding a little bit more coffee in case there are parts that actually are a little bit dry still, maybe up here a little bit white more. And I'm also going to let a little bit of coffee drip onto the coffee grinds. And that's going to give that effect when they bleed into the paper. So I'm going to let this dry overnight. About a cup of coffee, 8 fluid ounces, and the grinds from about 8 cups of coffee. But you can save up over 2 days if you want to put more, if you're afraid of running out. And as you saw, the copy paper does hold up well. One wrinkled over there, and I managed to straighten it out. So we're going to let this dry. We're going to come back, clean it all up, and then we're going to look at our beautiful old world vintage style papers. Okay, so we're back. Everything is completely dry. Let me give you a wider view of all this. So all 12 sheets, all nice and dry. And now I'm just going to brush off the excess coffee grounds, not grinds, grounds. I kept saying it wrong. For some reason, I looked it up online. I thought, is it grounds or grinds? It is grounds. So very embarrassing, was pronouncing it wrong. I'm going to use this is a regular paintbrush. Let me use this cardboard, and you can just see it's a 2-inch regular paintbrush from the hardware store. I also have a chip brush to show you. You can use one of those as well. Something that's not obviously super stiff, crazy stiff, but not your floppiest paintbrush either. And I'm just going to gently brush off the coffee grounds. You can do this, I can do this on the cardboard and then dump it all out into the garbage. I could actually put it, and this is something I like doing, on just another piece of cardboard like this. And I'm going to zoom you in again so you can see what's going on. Just like this, it gives the paper a certain stiffness. Otherwise, it's sort of flopping all over, and then I'll just dust it off. I'm going a little bit slowly here to show you, but not a long process, really easy to do. And speaking of easy to do, this might be a project, depending on age, that you could do with children as well. Sort of makes cool treasure maps type papers. So there's no residue. It's completely gone. You could do this in the summer outside, actually, on your grass. The coffee grounds are really good for the grass. That's another possibility, as long as it's not too windy. So I'm just going to go through each one of these, brushing it off, and then we'll have a look at them. I'll do this other one, and then the rest I think I'm actually going to do over my garbage, because otherwise I'm going to have to try to figure out how to pick up this cardboard and get rid of all of it. So, and I'll do another one, just do a final one with the chip brush, and you can see that's going to work probably just as well. I've never tried it actually, but I'm suspecting that. Oh yeah, this works just as well. So again, something that's not super, super stiff, but not, as I said, your floppiest brush. And it just comes off. I wonder if that's making a lot of noise in the background. It comes off really nicely. I won't talk and brush at the same time. If you were to ask me the easiest process other than doing outside on your lawn, right over the garbage, I have, as you can see, a huge garbage bag, because I like to just be able to toss things in without, having to open a lid or struggle because it's a small garbage. So angling it like this, the coffee grounds just fly right into the garbage. Really easy to do. I also have a bit of an issue with speed. I don't like to spend a lot of time on something that should be an easy process. So again, this is like the fastest way I've found of doing this. You can follow me on Instagram at rosemary.michelle.art, and don't forget to tag me if you try this project. So that's it, quickly done. And I was actually even using the edge of the brush. And there's no cleanup because it's already in the garbage. So this is the final product. Lovely stain-like, but not stained. As I said, no residue. Little bit of a wrinkle here. That's okay. And there's even, hopefully you can see that, you know, even here where there's no actual stain from the coffee grounds, there's a lighter off-white, a little bit of white, and then just these shades of parchment color. Even, you know, the other side might be appropriate for you depending on what projects you're doing. And each one of them is completely unique and different. This here too might look like coffee ground still stuck there. It's not, it's stain. And I think hopefully you can see this also. There's just a sort of dusty effect here as well too. I'm really, really pleased with these. Just to give you an idea of the before and after, I have some, oh, here's my regular copy paper. The makeover, regular copy paper before copy paper. Copy paper. Oh my goodness, I'm getting confused between the grounds and the grinds and the copy and the coffee. So just regular copy paper, white, and this is the final result. This is what it looks like. I am going to save these. When I hit 500 subscribers, I will be sending them to one of my subscribers. So do subscribe if you enjoy this content. It lets me know that these videos are appreciated and encourages me to make more of them. Drop me a like, drop me a comment. Let me know if you've done any of these. Also, if you've done them with other materials. I know tea is also another item you can use, and I might actually do one of those. So let me know. Let me know what you think are before, are after. Thank you so much for watching, and happy creating.